This is the regular meeting for March 23rd. Okay. Okay. A little sound problem there. Regular meeting for March 23rd of the committee adjustment for the municipality of North Perth. First of all, I'd like to welcome the committee members that are here. Brad Gibson, Robert McLean, and Bill Gariadis. Welcome, fellas. And for those other people attending, my name is Bruce Wilkin, Chair. Okay, first of all, moving to item 2.1 on the agenda. Could we have a motion to move the agenda for tonight's meeting, please?
Sure, Brad.
Moved by Brad. Seconder?
Second by Bob.
Bob? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, anyone have an item of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof this evening? Seeing none. Could we have a motion to adopt the signing of the minutes as circulated for the February 23rd meeting as printed and earlier distributed and be signed by the chair and the secretary? Could we have a motion, please?
All motion, Bill.
Sure, for seconder.
Moved by Bill. Seconder?
Sure, Brad.
Brad? Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Any business arising from those minutes? Seeing none. The statement of precedent for tonight's meeting, any decision reached by this committee tonight cannot be used to set a precedent. Moving on to new business. The following public hearings are to consider applications for minor variance as follows. The first one is an application for minor variance, file number A5 2021 by Daniel Horst, affecting property located at 650 Rocker Road. Do we have Mr. Horst in attendance?
Present.
Yeah, could you just give us a brief description of what you're asking for, please?
Yeah, so basically at 650 Rocker Road there, we currently have a building with 4 vehicle bays. We're just looking to extend that to another 4 bays and an additional office at the far end, which exceeds the setback calling for the variance. So.
Okay, thank you. And could we have the planner's report from Sean?
Yes, absolutely. Good evening, committee members.
Good evening, Sean.
Minor variance application A5 2021 submitted by Daniel Horst is requesting a variance to the zoning bylaw provisions to reduce the minimum rear yard setback requirement from 7.5 meters or 25 feet to 6 meters or 20 feet. And this will permit the proposed addition to an existing commercial warehouse. If granted, the construction of an approximately 300 square meters or 3,200 square foot addition will be permitted at the proposed location, as noted on the submitted sketch with the application. The property is an exterior lot located at the southwest corner of Rocker Road East and Hamilton Court, and is located within the Rocker Road industrial area. The property contains an existing warehouse building with access to the site provided from both Rocker Road and Hamilton Court. Based on the proposed building design, it appears that the building will not meet the required rear yard setback. As the property is an exterior lot, it has frontage along 2 public roads, The North Perth zoning bylaw considers the shorter line abutting the street as the front lot line, and therefore the lot line adjacent with Rocker Road East is considered the front yard. Consequently, the lot line adjacent with Hamilton Court is the exterior side yard, and the rear yard becomes the area to the south of the property. Relief is required from this area to accommodate the proposed building addition. Staff has had the opportunity to review the application for a minor variance with respect to the 4 requirements specified under section 45(1) of the Planning Act. This includes that the general intent and purpose of the official plan and the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw are maintained, that the variance is minor in nature, and that the variance is considered to be desirable for the form of development. Staff feels that the requested relief satisfies these 4 requirements. The subject property is located within the Special Policy Area C of the Settlement Area Designation. This designation permits a variety of industrial uses. The existing warehouse and accessory office is a permitted use. The subject property is within the general industrial zone, or the M2 zone. And this M2 zone permits a variety of industrial types uses, including the existing warehouse. However, industrial uses require a rear yard setback of 7.5 meters. As mentioned, the applicant is requesting 6 meters. During the review of the application, it was noted that if Hamilton Court was considered to be the front yard, the proposed building would effectively meet all zoning provisions, including the rear yard setback, the interior side yard setback, the exterior side yard setback, and the front yard setback. However, based on the zoning bylaw, we are compelled to consider the front yard along Rocker Road, therefore requiring some relief. The relief of 1.5 meters or 5 feet is relatively minor, with the impact appearing to be minor as well. Additionally, the subject property is located within an industrial area with similar types of uses. And that the proposed building addition will be subject to site plan approval. Based on preliminary review of the site plan, the relief does not seem to create any noted impacts or concerns. For these reasons, it is staff's recommendation that the committee approve the application for a minor variance as submitted by Daniel Horst. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Do we have any questions from the committee?
I have one, Bruce.
Okay,
Sean, just to clarify, your thought I had it kind of figured out here, that your comment on the front yard, rear yard, and the setback. So the setback to the west, so that 12 meters off that would be the rear setback. That's correct?
Sorry. Yeah, effectively, if you were to kind of swap the orientation, or if this was another lot beside it, then the rear yard would become where that 12 meters is. And typically a rear yard requires 7.5 meters.
Okay, so I guess my question to that then, and just from a design standpoint, I guess is a kind of a question for Daniel. I just wonder whether or not it's been the land on the back side, if you're able to build to 7.5 meters, I assume just kind of, and I guess the drawings are here. I haven't looked at them all that closely, but I assume it's a wood frame building with wood trusses. The back side, the west side, will be fairly difficult to add on in the future with the truss spanning the way they likely will be. I just whether or not it's been investigated if it makes more sense to build the offices that you put on the south end of the building that require the variance, whether it would make more sense to put them on the west side, being that you have all of that extra space to get to the setback on that side. Kind of a long-winded question.
Daniel, do you have an answer to that?
That's a fair question, Brad. That was never discussed, so it's kind of a new thought to me. I think the
Sorry. Yeah.
I think the intent was because it's all vehicle or service vans in and out. And the ideal would be if the office could be accessed from the Hamilton Court side or the east side there. I'm not saying it couldn't be a possibility. It's a new thought to me, I guess.
I just, when I look at your floor plan, I'm wondering if your, and I don't understand, I don't know anything, very little about your business, but your account manager and some of those offices, whether they could swing around. It just, from a development standpoint, it just looks like you're gonna be left with, you'd be 5.5 meters on the backside of your property. So you're 5.5, is that almost not quite 30 feet of property that you may not be able to develop in the future, just or very difficult to. So anyway, just question.
Okay, thanks. Excuse me. Thanks, Brad. Any other comments? Has everyone had a chance to read the correspondence from Scott Patterson on behalf of 2533990 Ontario Incorporated? Yes. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in opposition to the application? And I request to give their name and address for the record when they are recognized. Hearing none. Does the applicant or the agent have any other comments in respect to the application?
I do not, Bruce.
Okay, thank you. Are there any further questions from the committee members?
I have one, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Robert.
The plans are showing a firewall between both entities. Is this set up as a separate business entity on one property?
So technically, it will be utilized under the same company. There is potential that a sister company will occupy the existing offices at the north end down the road.
Okay, anything else? Could we have a motion? Moved by Bob, Robert,
I'll move that.
seconder,
I'll second.
Bill. Moved by Robert McLean, seconded by Bill Geriatis, that the committee approve the application for minor variance A5 2021 as submitted by Daniel Horst affecting property described as Part Block 7, Plan 44M31, being Part 2 of 44R 5070, known as 650 Rocker Road East, to reduce the minimum rear yard setback requirement from 7.5 meters, which is 25 feet, to 6 meters, which is 20 feet, to permit the proposed commercial warehouse addition. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Yep. Yep. I declare this portion of the public hearing closed. Thank you. Moving on to application number 2, an application for minor variance, file number A6 2021 by Ryan Smith, affecting property described as Lot 48, Plan 563, known as 105 Dunnigan Street West. Okay, is The owner of the property available? Ryan? You give us a brief description of what you're asking? We can't hear you, Ryan.
Still muted.
Yep.
Ryan, on the bottom of the screen, if you hover your mouse, there's a mute button you can click on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm not very computer savvy.
Okay. Yes, Ryan, if you could just give us a brief description of what you're
What
asking
I'm
for?
looking to do, what I'm looking to do, is I'm just looking to, basically I want to build a pool shed. The one I had my pool equipment in was rotten. I've taken it out. So basically I want to build a pool shed. Also, with the kids getting older, I got a lot of storage, and I'm just looking to build a little like that, a storage space. And also I'd like to build a spot for not just the pool shed. I'd like to build a little change room out there is what my plan was, but mainly just for all my storage, the same as the letter I wrote to you guys. I'm not sure if you all got a copy of the letter that I wrote or not, but
Yes, we do.
basically I'm just looking to build a shed, and that's just basically for storage and for a pool shed. I want to store all my patio furniture and all the stuff I want to store in it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll now call on the planner, Sean Yilmaz, to present the planning report and recommendations. Sean?
Thank you. Minor variance application A6 2021 submitted by Ryan Smith is requesting a variance to the zoning bylaw provisions to allow an accessory structure, that is a pool shed, to be located in the exterior side yard with a setback of 2.4 meters or 8 feet from the property line, where 6 meters or 20 feet is normally required. If granted, the construction of an approximately 37 square meter or 400 square foot pool shed will be permitted at the proposed location. The property is an exterior lot located at the northwest corner of Donegan Street West and Wallace Avenue South, and is within a residential area. The property contains an existing single detached dwelling, an in-ground pool, and a small shed, approximately 100 square feet, which appears to have been removed, according to Ryan. So the property owner wishes to replace the existing shed with a larger shed for pool storage. The existing shed did not require a building permit because of its small size. However, accessory structures are typically not permitted within the exterior side yard setback. The existing pool covers the northwest portion of the backyard, thereby removing any opportunity to place a pool shed in this location. Based on the preliminary information submitted by the property owner and using GIS data, the exterior side yard setback encroaches most of the available property in the rear yard. As noted on the original application sketch, the proposed structure is proposed to be set back 2.4 meters or 8 feet from the property line abutting Wallace Avenue South, and is expected to be contained within the interior of the backyard bounded by the existing fence. Due to the nature of the relief, staff feels that a survey is necessary to determine the precise location of the exterior and rear lot lines, the fence line, and the proposed location of the pool shed. Additionally, a letter of justification supplementing the application was requested, along with a more detailed site sketch of the proposal. Staff was unclear of the distance between the shed and the fence, the shed in the existing dwelling, and the shed in the pool. Additionally, it is unclear how the proposed size of the structure will impact the properties located nearby, and nor if the size is appropriate. There was information provided to us late last week. However, staff has not had an opportunity to review the proposal with these new details. The pool shed is a permitted use. However, it is unclear whether the relief from the exterior side yard setback is appropriate. And then, as I mentioned, if the size of the structure located within an exterior setback is considered appropriate. As I was unable to answer these questions with the materials originally submitted, as there were several pieces of missing information. As such, it is the recommendation of staff that the committee defer a decision to provide staff with more time to review the new materials that the applicant has provided and to get a better understanding of how this proposal may impact the surrounding residential uses and Wallace Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in opposition of the application, and I request that they give their name and address for the record when they are recognized? Hearing none. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant? And I request that they give their name and address for the record when they are recognized.
Can you hear me, Bruce?
Yes, I can.
I guess I should have. I'm not the smoothest talker in front of everybody, but I did contact and have my two neighbors directly behind me, Mr. Petter and John and Shirley Kroller, which I think would be the two people that it may affect the most. I've made personal contact with both of them, and I explained to them exactly what I wanted to do, and they were both okay with it. Also, I did send that information. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it was 4 o'clock on Thursday because I was never informed it was 4 o'clock on Thursday. But I had in the past mentioned originally what I wanted to do, and I set a drawing in. It's about, I can go inside the fence the back 4 feet and inside the fence the other 3 feet is what I was hoping to do inside of the fence line, is what I was trying to do. Just so you're aware, because he all that information I have sent, I think Danette sent it all out to you guys, as far as I know. If I'm wrong, that might be, but I hadn't heard back from Mr. Jimenez. I actually sent him a text message on Friday morning, Friday afternoon, to make sure he got my information. I still, to this moment, have not heard back. As for delaying it another month, my issue is I have Aaron Harding from how I'm going to build the small shed. And unfortunately, I couldn't get him last year, and I wanted to try this last year. I got him booked now, but unfortunately, he gets into house building season, and he's pushing me. It's basically him pushing me to try and get it done sooner than later because he can't do it. And then I'd have to wait another year, basically. So that's kind of just to give you a little background of why I'm trying to get it done.
Okay. Thanks, Ryan. Are there any other questions from the committee?
Through you, your chair, I have a couple of questions.
Okay, go ahead, Robert.
When was the original house built?
I'm thinking it was 2005. I built it, but I think it was 2005.
Okay.
Maybe 5 or 6. I think 5 though.
There should be a reasonable expectation to be able to provide a survey either through the registry office or through the.
Well, I do have one sheet of paper I sent to Sean. It measures out the meters on it. I sent it to Ed and Sean, I think. I'm just trying to find, but it showed the exact feet from one property to the other. And I sent them a picture of it. I don't know if you guys have it or not. It gave all the footage to the back. It was a survey. I thought it was a survey, but I'm not a builder. I don't know exactly, but that's what we had when we had the house built. And I did have the sheet of paper.
It was a lot grading, kind of like a lot grading plan.
It's got all the dimensions on there. All the meters are there. I don't know what a survey would, like, it would be the same thing, I would think, if we measured it all out with a 200-foot tape measure, but I used that, I went off that dimensions on that piece of paper. I don't know whether you guys have it or not, but I assume my lot hasn't changed at all since then. And there should be a piece of paper with all the town stuff on it.
We do have a hand-drawn sketch.
Well, no, I sent one to him of the actual survey, or not. He's saying it's not a survey. It was the it had all the property lines on it. I sent it to them. It's
No,
not
yeah, so I
indicated.
have we were sent a photo of a grading plan, and it was just a photo of the plan, like of
So
with the
where's
house
it
on it.
today? It's got all the measurements on it. Is it not here?
I could
tonight?
share my screen if that works.
Yeah, it is. I did send it. It's. I talked to everybody. They said it's the same dimensions. It's my lot. It's all measured out. But yeah, I definitely sent it in. I don't know where it is tonight, but I definitely sent it in.
I just have a little bit of input here. I did check the files. I think the house was built in 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
That could be right. Ed. It could be 6.
Yeah, and I
Could
did
be
check
fine.
I checked the permit files and in our system, and I couldn't find any copy of a survey for that property. So I'm not sure why there wasn't a survey ever submitted, but there isn't anything in the files for that.
Okay.
Okay, well, that could yet be produced. My second question is, with the covered deck that isn't in the aerial photograph originally provided, that's going, I'm assuming that that's going to add to your lot coverage. And with the proposed building, you may be challenged with being over your lot coverage with the size of your proposed building.
That was going to be my question as well, Robert. Was if the lot coverage situation, if that had been checked.
No one had mentioned that to me.
It was we couldn't check it because we didn't have a proper drawing to check it. We just had some sort of numbers given.
It was
to
never
us.
brought up to me at all till right now.
Okay, are there any other questions? Yes, Brad.
Yeah, Sean, do you know off the top of your head what that, or Bob, you might even know what that lot coverage percentage is?
I can just give it right here.
It's 50% for everything on the lot, or the accessory building alone is 10% of the lot area.
Okay.
The pool doesn't count as coverage.
Correct.
Or the deck.
The lot area is 8,604 square feet.
Yeah, so 10% of that would be 800 square feet, right?
That's right.
I'm pretty sure they're okay for coverage with the 50% and the 10%.
Any other?
So I guess ultimately with that, like if we move ahead with this application, Ryan may just be in the position where the shed, the square footage of the shed may have to be reduced to meet that requirement if he decides to go ahead with it. Is that fair to say, Sean? Or Ed, maybe you can answer better to that.
Yeah, that was the thing. I didn't have an indication of what this looked like on the property. So, I mean, Ed and I talked about it. We talked about whether the pool was not necessarily.
I have asked since January for you to come up and take a look at this, and you weren't willing to come up and have a look. I've tried. I don't know what else to do. as you mentioned to me the other night, I'm not a planner. I tried my best with the knowledge I had to provide the proper information, but I was getting very limited help, and I was doing the best I possibly could. But I have asked many times if you're ever coming to Listowel. Going back to January, I have been asking you, and I've got told no every time. So I have asked you. That's why I sent you those pictures. But I tried.
Respectfully, we've asked on multiple email exchanges for information, and we didn't get anything until I asked for you in the final hour. And I
Actually,
did drive by your
I'll
property, and
disagree with-
again,
I'll
the onus is
disagree
on
with
the
you.
applicant to submit this information and us to review it. And I had
I
nothing
was
to
under the
review.
understanding that I was supposed to get help, and you were here to help me, is what I was under the understanding of. But I guess I never got anything except from that one message from you, and then there was no date on it to tell me what I needed. I thought I needed it for this meeting until you called me at 5 minutes to 4 on Thursday and told me it's due in 5 minutes. And I said, "Can you give me an hour and a half?" And you said, "Absolutely not."
I had asked on several occasions for these items, and unfortunately, I don't have due dates for people. It was supposed to be submitted when you submitted your application. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Any other questions from the committee?
Bruce, I have just one, maybe not question, but concern. If we're, with the coverage of the shed and the pool, if there's significant rainfall, I'm wondering what kind of drainage and what kind of effect the shed might have. It's a concern, anyways. Mine. I'm fairly new to this. I think Robert might have a better idea too. I've known him in the past. He has had very insightful questions.
I would agree with your question, Bill. It's with the amount of impervious area around the pool, the roof loading and the proximity to the three neighboring yards or four neighboring yards. A significant rainfall could compromise the neighbors' properties. I don't have the grading plan that the applicant has provided, so I can't really comment further on that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Okay, is the committee any other questions, or shall we proceed with a motion?
Just one more, Bruce.
Yes.
I think this question, I guess, would be to Ed again. I guess, is it fair to say, Ed, that again, kind of if this application is approved, that regardless, Mr. Smith would still be required to provide a survey, a shared lot grading plan, all of his building plans, all of that would still be required to be submitted and approved for building permit prior to construction, if anything. Like, just because it's an accessory structure, it doesn't mean that there would be any shortcuts as far as the approvals process.
No, certainly not, Brad. Thanks for the question. We won't be any shortcuts. There will be according to the minor variance, they're asking for 8 feet. We will have to confirm that. So there will have to be a surveyor attend the site and give us that
Can I
dimension.
ask where he's getting the 8 feet from? I just don't understand where you say 8 feet.
That was in the drawing, I believe.
It was 8 feet from the sidewalk. Yeah, is that? I'm just confused. I just don't understand. Like,
yeah, the 8 feet will be from the property line. The sidewalk may or may not be. The sidewalk has nothing to do with.
Right. Well, it's actually, I said all along it's about 3 to 4 feet. It's not 8 feet. But it's inside of my fence. Right? Like when you walk by my house, it's inside of my fence. But I gave all the measurements because he had asked for the measurements for from the road. So, but you'll see, I wrote the one thing. It says I think it's 3.5 to 4 feet. But yeah, 8 feet is from the sidewalk. Where my fence is where it's not 8 feet in from my fence.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'm not sure. I just want to make sure that I'm being
Yeah.
straight. And you guys understand what I'm doing. That's all I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
yeah,
Okay.
so it'd be 6 feet from the property line. So as part of your building permit application, you'd have to have a survey that shows your foundations being set at 6 feet off the property line, wherever that is. So,
Okay.
And there should
If-
be, there should be survey stakes on a property,
They were there, and then when the fella when they built that big long complex behind, they buried it. That's how I know where it is, because when I built the fence, Bruce, Dad and we used the stake. We built inside of the stake, and there was a stake there, and I know there's a stake on my lawn. There's like a bell thing or a Whiteman thing, and it's on the other side of that. I know that because I hit it with my lawnmower in my first summer, and it was there. And then the other ones, I'm on the inside of my property line. The stake was there. I don't know how far down it is, but it definitely was there when we built the fence. Because Dad and we made sure of that. And like I said, I hit the front. I wrecked my lawnmower the first summer I was here because I hit the blade with I didn't know the steel stake was there. I know approximately where it is, but I'm not sure how far down it is.
Okay, just to clarify, I got the 8 feet from Sean's report there. I think the second paragraph, it says here to be located in the exterior side yard with a setback of 2.4 meters, 8 feet. That's where I got the 8 feet from there. But in order for the committee to make a decision, we should have a fixed number that we're gonna allow.
I never said, I don't know. That's why I was asking where the 8 feet came from, because where my current little shed was sitting is approximately 4 feet from the back of my fence and 3 feet from the side. And I don't have I'd have to look at the pictures, but
That was the situation, is you didn't know what you were asking for. And so we had a tough time reviewing it. And then everything we've asked, it
right
was
at the
just,
very top, it says 4 feet from the fence line, which I put in, that's what I thought. And then it was 3 feet on the other way. But not, if you went 22 by 24, it was 4 feet in and 1.5 feet in on the fence line. Obviously, if I went a little smaller to 20 feet, there would be a little more room. But there's 4 feet at the back, like onto my neighbors. There would be 4 feet back there.
yes, I think definitely before any building permit is issued, there's gonna have to be some figures finalized here, for sure. So anyway, is the committee ready to make a motion?
I will, your chairship. I'll recommend we defer any decision on this application till the planner and the building department have all the information necessary to move this forward for a decision, which would include a survey.
Right. Do I have a seconder for that motion?
I'll second that.
That was Brad? Bill?
Oh, sorry, Bill.
Yep. Okay. Moved by Robert McLean, second by Bill Garriatis, that the committee defer the application for minor variance A5 2021, excuse me, as submitted by Ryan Smith, affecting property described as Lot 48, Plan 563, North Perth, 105 Dunnigan Street West, to permit an accessory structure, pool shed, to be located within the exterior side yard with a setback of 2.44 meters, 8 feet, where 6 meters, 20 feet is normally required.
1 point, Mr. Chairman. The recommendation says A5 2021. It's actually A6 2021.
All right. Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay. All in favor of that motion? I voted that we should. Yeah, it's unanimous. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I declare this portion of the public hearing closed. And I would suggest, Brian, that you finalize those lot measurement locations and get the information into the building department to see where you should go from here and what you legally can do or you can't do, and see if you can comply by the current zoning regulations. Sorry that we couldn't do anything different, but
Okay.
okay. Okay, any other business for the committee tonight? Not seeing any correspondence tonight? No? Okay. Could we have a move to adjourn? Brad? Seconder?
Bill?
Bill? All in favor? Meeting now adjourned at 7:42. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, Bruce.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.